I'm Marc Raimondi for Cage Side Seats here in New Orleans during WrestleMania week, and we had a big night on Saturday night. NXT Takeover New Orleans, Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. There were a lot of matches, there was a lot of action, some storyline advancements, a lot of things going on here in New Orleans. I'm here with Pete Sweeney, of course, from Cage Side Seats, and we're going to just break down some of the things that happened Saturday night. Kind of a unique situation because Ring of Honor and NXT were up against each other. They happened at the same time. So Pete went to NXT, I went to Ring of Honor. So basically, we're going to be filling each other in on what happened at the respective shows. So we'll start with NXT because I'm dying to hear from Pete about this because he was there. All I know is what I saw on Twitter. So I did look at spoilers. That's all I know right now. And it seemed like it was an impossibly good card, Pete. Please fill me in. What was your experience there?
You know, I think everyone is looking forward to WrestleMania, and that's supposed to be the biggest, pay-per-view of the weekend. But this is going to be hard to live up to. I mean, these are the guys that are working towards getting to WrestleMania, and they put on the show of really a lifetime. One of the best shows I've ever seen. I've been a wrestling fan for like 25 years, and a 5-match show. Pretty tight, but each match was very good, and each match had you captivated.
Hold on a second. 25 years? How old are you? Get out of here.
I'm 29 years old, but I was introduced to wrestling at a very young age. I had wrestling figures, wrestling figurines, going back to my early days. So I kind of consider that okay. I was a wrestling fan back then.
All right, well, we'll accept that because we're all tired here in New Orleans. Let's start from the very top, from the main event. Was not the title match. It was the grudge match, the story they've been telling for the better part of a year.
Sure.
Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. What is your take on the match? Gargano went over. Tell me about what the crowd reaction was like, being in the arena. What was that match like?
Again, the card earlier on was so good. So, I mean, really they had a lot to live up to. And just the storytelling in the match was fantastic. I think they did a good job of really throwing it back. They used the knee brace. At a certain point in the match, Ciampa was trying to take off his knee brace to maybe, add insult to injury. And that ended up costing him because Gargano would use that at the end to tap him out. And it was something that the entire audience wanted to see. It's really rare that you see in a match, especially nowadays, where it's cool to root for heels, where it's 100% in favor of one superstar against the other, and that was happening tonight. Everyone in that building wanted Gargano to win, and everyone got to cheer when he finally got his revenge and is now back on NXT.
Did the match live up to the very lofty expectations that it had going in?
It's interesting. If you want to say 5 stars, I don't necessarily think it would be a 5-star match because there were some lulls to it. But as far as the storytelling goes, it is a blueprint for younger wrestlers to look at. How do you tell a story in a match? Look at this unsanctioned thing between these two guys for sure.
How would you compare it to the Gargano Almas match that did get 5 stars? Was it comparable? Was it different?
To me, this one was just a little bit longer and drawn out and had just different aspects to it, where that other match to me was very tight and action-packed. So that's why I think it maybe was a little bit better of a match. But as far as storytelling goes, it didn't really get any better tonight.
We have a new NXT champion, Aleister Black, going over the aforementioned Cien Almas with some shenanigans in that match, I guess, with Zelina Vega. Were you surprised about the result of the match, and what did you think of the match overall?
I'm definitely not surprised with the match. I think Black has been hot for a long time now, probably deserves the title. Let's see what he can do with that now. And I think it's time for Cien to get the call up because he's just had outstanding match after outstanding match after outstanding match. And tonight was another one, even in defeat. And I think Zelina Vega is a very underrated part to this character. I think she's going to be a star at the next level. And, we're about to see if she can become one of the most hated women in wrestling. And if I had to guess, my answer would be yes.
She's so darn good, and I haven't seen NXT Takeover yet, but she is fantastic. What has she added to that Almas character? Because it seemed like it was kind of running in place, kind of spinning its wheels until she came over.
At the main level, I think you see the subtleties, and someone that stands out to me and is just top of my head is Rusev. Adds little things here and there, and maybe has some jokes with the crowd that you can catch. For me, with Vega, it's the little things. As they're going down to the ring, she's yelling at him. She's in his face. Let's get it tonight. You don't even really know what she's saying if you can't speak Spanish. As far as in match, she's putting his foot on the rope and then kind of kind of prances off, and the ref doesn't know, but you can see her just brushing her hair. It's just like the very little things, and it's attention to detail, and I really like that she cares about those things, and I think that really translates, especially when you get to the WWE level.
It's the tag title match. There were some interesting storyline advancements in that match. It was the Undisputed Era winning over Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. Roderick Strong turning and turning heel. He's been on NXT for a long time. Now he's a heel. How did that all play out? And did you like how they did the twist?
Yeah, Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong were about to win the match, and Strong cost his own team the match by kicking Pete Dunne in the head, and then joined Undisputed Era, and it really caught you by surprise. And it was at the perfect point of the night because I'm sure we'll get to it, but the ladder match was really good. We had just seen a women's title change hands, and so you weren't really as up, but it woke the crowd up, and it got you ready for those last two matches. And it's an interesting storyline. So, like the best storylines in wrestling, what's it going to make you do? It's going to make you tune in on Wednesday to see why did he do it, and I think that's going to be on everyone's minds.
And then there was the women's match. I'm not forgetting one, am I? There was only 5 matches on the card.
Yeah, and then there's the ladder match at the beginning.
Well, I mean, I couldn't. We'll get to that. I've not forgotten about that one.
Good. Yes,
I'm gonna stay up late tonight and watch that match for sure. Shayna Baszler, the women's MMA pioneer that I know very well from my days covering the UFC and MMA, going over Ember Moon, becoming the NXT Women's Champion. That was a very, very tough act to follow from the first match, the ladder match. How do you think they did, the women?
It was tough. I mean, that ladder match was one of the better matches you'll ever see. And I'm talking about any level, anywhere, any company. So to follow that act, super tough. But they did as good a job as they possibly could. They told the story with what they had been working on. Ember Moon had made a point of it. As I'm standing, she's not going to win the title from me. So she made her not tap out, she fell asleep. And then interesting part at the end of the match that's worth noting, Baszler going to the crowd and hugging Ronda Rousey, who was in the first row. A little bit of heat. You could hear the boos in the crowd, and it made me think, is Ronda going to get booed again? You know, or is it just that she's hugging Baszler? So it's interesting to see how that pans out tomorrow as well.
Very interesting because Baszler is being played up as an enormous heel. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And Rousey is being played up as a huge babyface.
Right. And so you wonder if WWE/NXT knew that they were going to hug after the match. Yeah, I'd probably think so because I think it elevates everybody when stars kind of can show relationships and things like that. But yeah, you make an interesting point. Rousey is the face here, and Baszler's the big heel. She goes over, and now we'll see what Baszler does in NXT.
Is Ember Moon bound for Raw or SmackDown?
If I had to guess, I would say Moon and Almas will both be on WWE probably sometime this week, I would think.
Possibly the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and the unnamed Women's Battle Royal on Sunday?
Well, you saw Almas in the Royal Rumble, so I wouldn't rule it out, but I think it's kind of been a trend with WWE in the past few years to hold on till the next week to get these people, just so that it gives you a reason to want to maybe watch Raw and SmackDown. And if you're missing Raw and SmackDown this week, you're not paying attention because these are some of usually the best shows all year. So I don't know. Interesting to debate. I'd say they lean to waiting on to the TV shows this week.
Okay, the opener, and it surprised some people that it was the opener. It was the ladder match, the six-man ladder match. Adam Cole, Ricochet, Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, Velveteen Dream, and who am I forgetting of the six? Did I name all six? Who am I missing? Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole.
Adam Cole.
Who am I forgetting? There's a sixth person. What are we doing here? Help us out, viewers at home. Oh, wait, you can't actually talk to us.
I don't know. I'm not thinking of it. But, yes, I mean, the six wrestlers did an outstanding job, spot after spot after spot. Ricochet is unbelievable.
How do I forget EC3?
There you go. That's
EC3.
EC3 making his debut, for sure.
My apologies, EC3. Please don't come find me in my hotel room in New Orleans. Continue, please, Pete. I'm very tired.
If there was a star, Adam Cole would eventually win the title, but if there was a star of the match that you have to talk about, it was what Ricochet was able to do. It's really unlike any wrestler, I think, in the company, and I'd expect him to maybe make the jump possibly a lot sooner than people realize, just because of what he was able to do. I mean, they do keep people down there. I thought Samoa Joe maybe could have come up a little bit earlier than he did, but wow. I mean, he wowed you tonight. I mean, you'll see when you watch it back. It was just an amazing match, and really everyone did a good job. Everyone got their stuff in, and yeah, Adam Cole goes in at the end, and the crowd was pumped about that because he has the best catchphrase right now in wrestling. Everyone likes to say it as people were leaving, and this is 3 hours later after the first match. You had the crowd being able to say Adam Cole, and still everybody just saying "baby," and it was really a night for Undisputed Era besides Aleister Black.
It seemed like Velveteen Dream also had a very good night in that match.
Yeah, and I think he's super over, and I think he's another candidate to go up as well. And Triple H has to be mad sometimes because he builds these guys up and is making a really good product, and all of a sudden they get plucked. But you know what? It's a credit to him as well because it's just wrestler after wrestler after wrestler that makes it to the next level. So he keeps the wheel churning.
I guess the question is, where do these people go? Because a lot of them are ready. Like you said, Ricochet is ready, maybe right now, to go up. Of course, we've seen him on the Indies for many years, and he was terrific. Is he a 205 Live guy? Is he Raw, SmackDown? What do you think? What is his destination?
See, I don't know what they're going to start to be able to do with all this talent that they have. That's moving on up. I think it's part of the reason that you sometimes see people get Tennille Dashwooded, and it's hard to tell. And we were talking earlier with Zach, my producer. NXT almost needs an NXT at this point because there's almost too much talent in NXT. So I don't know. Is there going to be a third brand? I feel like sometimes there's almost too much wrestling as it is. It's an interesting question. I can't make the prediction because especially now after WrestleMania, they usually do shake things up. But yeah, any of these guys could be up anytime soon.
There's just a ridiculous amount of good wrestling all over the world right now, and some of it was about 20 minutes north at the UNO Lakefront Arena, Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, another good card. I'm gonna do something a little unique here. I'm gonna pass the mic over and let Pete ask me about ROH, which I was at tonight.
So, what was the match of the night in your opinion?
I still think it had to have been Kenny Omega versus Cody, with Cody winning with some hijinks. If you didn't see it, ref bump, Omega and Cody are laid out. Young Bucks come out. Cody and Kenny get up together. The Bucks go to super kick Cody. Cody falls. Omega gets kicked. Cody hits the crossroads. Cody wins. And obviously this Bullet Club storyline is not going anywhere anytime soon. The match itself, it was a good match. It wasn't a Kenny Omega Okada match. It wasn't at that type of level, but it was a good, solid match. A little overbooked because they had to advance the storylines with the Bucks. Brandy Rhodes took a V-trigger and then went through a table on the outside, which was pretty scary. And Cody took some really, really hard knees, direct blows, which the crowd loved because he was so hated. You mentioned Ciampa being a true heel. I think Cody gets cheered more than Ciampa does, but he's on another level right now as a heel. At one point, he actually got in a woman's face in the front row, and she was yelling at him, and he was and then he took someone's water and spit it out into the crowd. It was good stuff. It was a good match. I would say it's a very good match. It wasn't a great elite match, but it was a good match. It advanced the storyline, and now who knows what's going on with Bullet Club? It's not fine, Pete. Bullet Club is. I got some news for you guys. It's not fine.
I don't think anyone wants it to be fine because the world of wrestling has been talking about this. What about some of the earlier matches? Anything stick out to you that was particularly good that maybe wasn't expected to be as good as it was?
Yeah, it was. There wasn't a bad match on the card. Every match was good to very good. The Hangman Page Kota Ibushi match was very good. It was one of the early matches on the show, and the crowd was really going nuts for that match. Ibushi was crazy over. And Hangman Page continues to impress me. I think he's improved so much over the last year. I thought the Jay White match was very good. The tag match they had with Omega and Ibushi last week at New Japan Sakura Genesis, that match was good. They got the Fight Forever chant from the fans, so there was a lot of heat. The building was really rocking from the beginning, and even though it was almost a 5-hour show, the fans were into it from to the very end. Of course, in the main event, Dalton Castle goes over. Marty Scurll retains the ROH World Title. There were some interesting booking decisions like that, and SoCal Uncensored beating the Young Bucks and Flip Gordon in the ladder match, which was probably the number 2 match on the card. There was just anytime you get the Young Bucks and a ladder match, you can write in 4+ stars on that match off the bat. It was a crazy stun-filled spot fest, dangerous, crazy stuff. Matt Jackson's back is like, I don't even know how it's in one piece at this point. But yeah, I mean, overall, good show. Probably too long, but you can't complain when. I mean, you can complain, but when every match is good, what can you say?
Yeah. Last question. Bully Ray, Bubba Ray Dudley one night, Bully Ray the next, enters the Hall of Fame on Friday night, and he showed up, turns heel. What did you make of that segment?
Yeah, it was. It's good that they got him in front of the crowd because the crowd wanted to see him. It was a segment where Cheeseburger comes out with a tag partner. Cheeseburger's tag partner gets beaten up by the Dogs, Will Ferrara and Rhett Titus. Bully Ray comes out, makes the save, and Cheeseburger's like, "Be my tag partner." And Bully Ray is gonna be his tag partner. They clean house. There's some Dudley-esque action going on, like almost like back in the day. And then Bully Ray turns on Cheeseburger. He says, all this new generation is the same. Basically saying they're all spot monkeys. The Will Ospreys. He mentions Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and he just tears everyone down. He mentions Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon comes out. And this was kind of it was kind of in a weird part of the show because it was like we wanted the main events, but it was well done. Bully Ray actually had Cheeseburger ready for a pile driver. He was gonna pile drive him, and Flip Gordon, he's like, "Don't move, Flip. I'm gonna pile drive Cheeseburger, and if I do that, the Louisiana State Athletic Commission is gonna shut down the show. You're not gonna get to see your precious Kenny versus, Kenny Omega versus Cody match. So that was well done. The timing of that in the show. I think people were probably like, this is going on a little bit too long because again, it was almost a 5-hour show. But like if that was on a TV taping, I think that would have been amazing. That would have been amazing, and it was good. But just in that, on a big show like that, that's already 5 hours long with so many matches, it was good, but it extended that a little bit. And just also to talk about 2 more matches because there were a lot on this card. Briscoes versus Tanahashi and Jay Lethal. Very good tag match. That really ended up being a very good match. And Punishment Martinez versus Tomohiro Ishii. Good match. Probably the best match of Punishment Martinez's career. He did some really outstanding athletic, crazy dives, and Ishii is Ishii. So, yeah, I mean, overall, even like the Chucky T. Jonathan Gresham match opened the card. Solid match. Can't really complain about any of the matches on the card at all.
Just maybe a little too long.
Just long. I mean, it was a long night. I mean, the NXT Takeover and ROH started around the same time, within a half hour of each other, and I think ROH went 90 minutes, 2 hours after. I mean, because you guys have been waiting around for me to get back from ROH. So, but yeah, I mean, but the fans were in it to the end. Like, I'll give them credit. They were not exhausted. They were still going crazy in that Kenny Omega Cody match.
All right, well, that's a good report. We got WrestleMania tomorrow, so I'll hand you back the mic to close things down.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up, and we'll be back here again on Cage Side Seats tomorrow after WrestleMania. Once we get, hopefully, some more sleep, some more caffeine in our system, some food, because the UNO Lakefront Arena, maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Maybe we'll just leave it out for now. But for Pete, for Marc, stay tuned to Cage Side Seats.